Music. It's pretty powerful stuff. No more so than in TV, film, and video games. It can elevate a scene, bringing with it a wave of powerful emotions or the thrill of unquestionable power. It sticks with us, and rightly so. I, like many of you, often find myself listening to my favourite video game soundtracks. I'm no music expert, just a guy that loves talking about video games. And well, I couldn't help but share some of the soundtracks that I feel perfectly highlight the power of video game music, how it can elevate, inform, and take you to new places. In this video, I want to talk about one soundtrack in particular that many players of Far Cry 5 may not have given a second thought, but did an immense amount of world building. Spoilers for a 7-year-old video game. Sometimes expected game features risk unintended consequences that, if not properly thought through, could potentially ruin the atmosphere and world building that the other aspects of a game have worked so hard to create. Take Far Cry 5 as an example. In the game's opening, the attempted arrest of Doomsday cult leader Joseph Seed is interpreted as fulfillment of the cult's prophecy, inciting Eden's Gate to take over Hope County. This is the premise for the open world. In it, you'll, as expected, be able to steal vehicles to get from A to B as you wreak havoc across the cult's county-wide machinations. But what happens when you steal a car driven by a cult member? A group that is incredibly isolated, and to some degree brainwashed into their beliefs. It's a jarring juxtaposition if they, like the resistance members you band together with, are listening to outside media promoting the very beliefs that they feel as though they are fighting against. It's an extremely subtle but crucial detail that makes the world of difference, subconsciously shattering the believability and therefore threat of the group that you are fighting against. Far Cry 5's solution to this is rather simple, but incredibly effective. Simply put, Eden's Gate has its own radio station, a radio station that exclusively plays music of the cult. And I have to be honest, they're bangers! They are catchy earworms designed to be fun and engaging as background music while you drive around, yet they're on point thematically, like really on point thematically. The soundtrack as a whole, in-universe propaganda from the cult's own perspective, paints a picture of them as an organisation, their beliefs and goals, and the mythos, and the more you stumble across their music as you play and hear lyrics from the songs, the deeper your understanding of them and their threat is, and you may not have even known you were learning. Take, for example, a song like The World Is Gonna End Tonight. This lays bare Eden Gate's prophecy of a coming apocalypse, and lines such as "Look out at the world on fire, look at the people frozen in fear, and they're gonna burn forever, they're gonna burn to ash," shows us exactly what the group believes will come, and ultimately is the fate of this timeline with the game's nuclear ending. Now he's our father. Now he's our shepherd in his flock. Oh John. Oh John. Bold and brave. Help me, Faith. Help me, Faith. Shield me from sorrow. And set those sinners free. Jacob's gonna set those sinners free. Then each shed light onto one of the members of the Seed family, with radios in each of the areas controlled by the family, playing versions of the soundtrack that fits their character. In areas controlled by Jacob, the soundtrack is in the style of country music. In Faith's areas, they are psychedelic reinterpretations for her followers hooked on bliss, whereas in John's areas, they are performed by a gospel choir. These songs explore them as people and their roles within Eden's Gate. Set Those Sinners Free is a brag about Jacob's role as torturer and executioner of the group, but twisted through the propaganda lens and influence of Joseph's seed.
Sing all through the night, preach till the morning light. Some cannot tell wrong from right. Jacob's gonna come and set those sinners free.
The two tracks that stand out the most from the album to me are We Will Rise Again and Let the Waters Wash Away Your Sins, and both for really similar reasons. They both mix seemingly innocent and almost universal aspects with the twisted and sinister undertones of Eden Gate's propaganda, in a way that produces tracks that feel relatable but equally unsettling, encapsulating the uneasy menace that is central to the soundtrack. We Will Rise Again is a song that presents as innocent and hopeful. Meredith Godrew's voice feels sweet and almost childlike. The lyrics talk of remaining strong and surviving against insurmountable odds, rising up from the challenges faced, but the sound of the song is merely a distraction from the dark nature of the lyrics that glorify the prophesied apocalypse and revels in the chaos and death it will bring as Eden's Gate inherits the Ashen world.
Let the wars begin. We'll keep our pistols near. Our neighbors frail and thin as they disappear.
Perhaps the most sinister of all is Let the Waters Wash Away Your Sins. As the recruitment song of Eden's Gate, Let the Water Wash Away Your Sins hits hard. It's the one that was my earworm and sucked me into exploring the Far Cry 5 soundtrack further, but it's also a song meant to do exactly that. It preys on people, designed within the context of the game to be the song that subtly opens people to the message of Eden's Gate. Much like the rhetoric of the religious and political exploiters of our own world, it takes advantage of the mundane and everyday occurrence, the things that people internalize as insecurities and blame themselves for, the trauma that society has led people to keep within and be ashamed of, and the injustices of society and its systems, and lays the blame at your feet. These things happen or have happened to you because of something you did or do, your sins.
If your soul has grown weary and your heart feels tired, let the water wash away your sins.
If you're down on your luck, if you're feeling suicidal, if you can't get the girl you want, if life is hard and unfair and bad things have happened to you, the song and society as a whole reinforce the idea that maybe there's something wrong with you.
And they said they'd feed your family, and you believed what they swore. Let the water wash away your sins.
If you fell for the promises of modern society, that you could work hard and be rewarded, only to find that society is set up to exploit people for the benefit of those richer and in more powerful positions than you, then that is your fault. And the solution is just so simple. Just wash those sins away. The water in this case is the Eden's Gate cult and its belief. If you open yourself up to be part of the organisation, then you'll be on the true path and those sins will be washed away, because, as the other songs have taught us, the path Eden's Gate follows is the correct one, and all else is sin. But the truly uncomfortable part of Let the Waters Wash Away Your Sins is how true to life it is. This is the rhetoric of real-life cults. In less religious language, this is the rhetoric of political extremes. The issues that draw people into these beliefs are so mundane and so common that to some degree we've all felt the pressure of a world that has become more cynical and doubtful, saw our place in a world and come up short, felt the injustice of the growing wealth divides and businesses that exploit everything they can in search of ever higher profit. The scariest thing about this song in particular is how relatable it can be. a reminder of how easy it can be to fall into a pit of despair with the extreme beliefs at the bottom.
This old world is ending, a new one can begin. Let the water wash away your sins.
It's something worth remembering then that the world's injustices are not your sins, that you are loved and it will get better, and there's always help. There's always someone who will listen. As you might have gathered from this video, I really love the often nuanced music in video games. I'm not in any way technically proficient, coming at this as a rank amateur enthralled with music's ability to find its way into your very being and, even often without its necessary context, convey a story or an emotion or a concept that connects on a raw and emotional level. So I started writing this having just finished Act 1 of Clair Obscur Expedition 33, and from the very first notes that I played in the game, something struck me that this soundtrack would be different, something special. And by the time I came to finish writing this, I've devoted all of my spare time to progressing through this phenomenal game, and I have defeated the Paintress. I intend to do a full video discussing Clair Obscur in the future, and potentially also one just discussing the music of that game. But while I'm here, as a bonus, I really wanted to briefly discuss one track in particular that stands out from an otherwise fantastic soundtrack. Lumiere. Lumiere is a breath of fresh air. Much as the game does, it feels like a wholly unique fusion of Baroque folky sounds and modern sound design. It feels whimsical and graceful, full of wonder and hope, but as it builds, hints at something darker below. Its lyrics, a mix of French, broken Latin, and French-esque nonsense sounds, feels like a conversation between the music and the singer. The lyrics themselves, when translated, offer an additional layer of storytelling, and even without translation, the tone and smattering of understandable words hint at the importance and role of certain characters. Like a good soundtrack should, it complements what is going on at that moment in time, whether reinforcing the emotional impact of a scene, subverting your expectations with musical hints of what is to come, or enshrining an otherwise bleak area with a sense of French whimsy. At the time of recording this, I have now beaten Expedition 33, so I won't linger here too long, but I loved it, even if it is French. So expect another video to follow up on this one, because Expedition 33 also does something really special with its music that you can't really fully explore until after you've defeated the game. I'm in the process of just digesting the soundtrack with the full context of the game in mind, and I plan on putting something together going into a lot more detail. But in the meantime, if you enjoyed this little dive into the world of video game music, then drop me a like, maybe even a subscribe, and leave a comment below about a game that soundtrack has really resonated with you. Maybe I'll make a video about it if it resonated with me as well. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to go watch people who know a lot more about music than me tell me what I already knew, that the Clair Obscur soundtrack is special.